It's my pleasure to welcome you to another episode of NAFDAC and Your Health. This is the program where we give you reports of how NAFDAC, the agency that regulates food and drugs in Nigeria, safeguards the health of Nigerian people by ensuring that only wholesome food products and genuine drugs are made available for our consumption and use. My name is Okwejemi Urimolade. Today on NAFDAC and Your Health, our first segment will highlight the importance of labeling and why it should be written in the language that can be read by buyers. This will dovetail into the raid of a Chinese supermarket in Abuja, where the labels and products sold are written only in Chinese, an act that is in violation of NAFDAC's regulations. And in the segment, we will bring you highlights of the stakeholders' engagement meeting between NAFDAC and the Association of Food, Beverages and Tobacco Employees, AFBTE, which was held recently. NAFDAC's responsibility of safeguarding the health of Nigerians sees the agency carrying out various regulatory functions to ensure that duly approved and genuine regulated products are made available for purchase in the open markets. Part of these regulatory functions is post-marketing surveillance, during which the agency moves around to see that manufacturers and distributors do not deviate from the conditions under which products were approved by NAFDAC. For edible products, among the things NAFDAC looks out for is the labeling on the products to ascertain that the ingredients used for the product's manufacturing date, as well as the expiry dates, have been clearly written and in the right language too. This is because of the significance of labeling.
You have to read labels. First of all, you have to read labels if you can read. About half of Nigerians are not literate. So that is a problem. That is why a medium like this is good. People will watch TV or watch one program or the other, they will hear. But reading labels, many of us go to the store, even literate, and we just buy. I spend more time in the store looking at what is there. How much sugar is there, how much salt. If it has too much sugar, I drop it. If it has too much salt, I drop it. If it doesn't state the type of seasoning, because sometimes before, even in advanced countries, all these things are evolving. Even in advanced countries, labeling was a problem. Because some of the seasoning, they will put it as something flavor. They will not say this exact seasoning is what is there. But regulatory agencies, including NAFDAC ones, now state everything that is there. So it is partly ignorance, lack of education that is causing problem, but it is left for us as regulatory agency in Nigeria especially, knowing the level of illiteracy to do more. But for those who are literate, take time to read the label in the store before you buy. It is there, sugar. If sugar is this high percent, don't buy it. You know, the thing that comes naturally, let's come to the table now. You don't add, we do more damage when we sit down to eat. Salt shaker, this shaker, because people will just add salt right there on the table. And what tastes good, what is pleasant to taste, may actually destroy. So we have to be very careful about food additive, chemicals.
This importance of labeling makes it an offense to alter, remove, or label products inappropriately. It was the reason the investigation and enforcement team of NAFDAC swooped on a Chinese supermarket where, according to intelligence, products sold there carry labels entirely written in Chinese. On arriving at the supermarket, the NAFDAC team thoroughly checked the array of products on the supermarket's shelves, and as reports had said, the products had labels written in only Chinese, and by that cannot be read by non-speakers of the language.
My major concern, Kim, is that Everything here is written in China.
Yes,
And I don't know, of course.
expiring date.
Yes.
Let me see. Okay, 18 months.
Yes, it's not expired according to what you explained now, isn't it? Because you say it's 18 months.
18
And
months.
the production is
August last
just
year.
August last year. So it has not yet expired.
Yes,
But
yes.
everything here is in China.
Yes.
Everything here is in China.
Yes, yes.
Why?
No, we are in Nigeria. We put Nigeria, but in my warehouse before we put. But
And why don't you put it?
Yes, we continue.
You've already displayed.
We continue working.
I think what you should do going forward, anyone that before you bring it in,
Yes,
the regulation said there should be a version,
exactly.
a Nigeria version.
Yes,
Because I
yes.
don't think people that gave you this NAFDAC something, they gave you and did not explain that to you.
Yes,
Because as it is now, how do I know this? I want to patronize. I like
Yes.
this product. But how do I know what is here?
Yes, we put
Even the expiring
we
date.
put English.
Speaking on the discovery, the Director, Investigation and Enforcement, Pharmacist Shaba Mohammed, reiterates that by this act, the Chinese supermarket has violated the regulation of NAFDAC.
The information just got to us. And so if we have known about it from the beginning, of course, we have taken this regulation action we took now. Selling items, in foreign language in the country is actually a violation of our law. If you must sell anything, either Arabic, Chinese, Indian, language, then you must have, the English translation of it. What we found there, more than 90% of them are actually in Chinese language. And you also find some blacks, some Nigerians also patronizing it. So how are they even able to read what, they bought? And not only that, when we look at it there, some of the items are expired and they were on the shelf in foreign language, expired and things like that. So, and even if we give them global listing, for them to import, it ought to be English language. So they can present to us any document from NAFDAC which, for which the items are in foreign language. No, it's not acceptable. So that is why we have to sell the supermarket, invite them, investigate them, do thorough investigation, before we conclude on the case. If we are actually aware before now, we'll have actually gone there. But we are just getting to know, and that is why we are stepping in. And of course, we are going to conduct our regulatory, action on it and ensure that things are done normally. You can't be here and you just bring anything. You can't have a country in a country.
Explaining the processes and requirements for importing and selling global listed items, Pharmacist Shaba Mohammed said the operators of the supermarket must have bypassed the NAFDAC and brought the goods into the country through some clandestine means.
To bring in any items that we call global listed items, GLSI, is for you to have a supermarket on ground, one. If for the supermarket to be inspected, by seasoned regulatory officers, and then when everything is satisfactory, then they now apply, to NAFDAC. They will also submit the list of items they want to import, which must be in English. They will actually submit a list to us. So by the time you submit a list and it's in English, of course, it will be satisfactory. But at the point of bringing in these things, when you bring in what is not on the list, what you brought in English, you decide to bring them in Chinese, it's unacceptable to us. Because I can't read Chinese, you can't read Chinese. So what are you going to buy? You don't even know about the instructions. You don't know about the so many other things, the allergy and things like that on them, which is very dangerous. Before they are given any documentation, any certification from NAFDAC, they will have been visited for good, storage and distribution practice. I ensure that the facility exists and is in accordance with the regulations. So at the point of importation, of course, they can bring any of these things in and decide to even bypass NAFDAC. NAFDAC at the port wouldn't see these items and allow it to leave. They will even they will intercept the items from the point of entry. So which means these items must have been smuggled into the country. Because that is why we are going to continue investigation to unravel how it got into the country, to see whether the port inspections, we're able to also, treat them, which I don't think they will have. And that is why we decided to see the supermarket.
In conclusion, pharmacist Shaba Mohammed said regulatory actions will be taken against the Chinese supermarkets. NAFDAC and your health will continue after this short break.
NAFDAC wishes to sensitize the general public on the detrimental effect of alcohol consumption by underage. Underage drinking can result in psychosocial and health problems like poor academic performance, increase in crime rate, alcohol dependency, mental health disorder, cardiovascular problems, kidney and liver diseases, and even death. NAFDAC advises parents and guardians to stop the exposure of young people below 18 to alcohol by asking them to sell or purchase it. For more enlightenment on NAFDAC activities, watch NAFDAC and Your Health program every Monday 6:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. on TVC and every Tuesday 8 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. on NTA. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Thanks for staying tuned. You're still watching NAFDAC and Your Health. Maintaining cordial interactions and relationships with relevant stakeholders have always been a norm with NAFDAC. This is because of the agency's belief in collaboration and partnership. In no small measure, these factors have helped in the groundbreaking successes continually recorded by NAFDAC. The collaborations and partnerships bring the agency to work together with not just government agencies, parastatals, and international organizations, but also in partnership with other stakeholders like manufacturers associations, traders associations, and so on. One of these associations is the Association of Food, Beverages, and Tobacco Employers, AFBTE. As the association functions in the food sector, the Food Safety and Applied Nutrition Directorate of NAFDAC works closely with it to hold deliberations and make necessary improvements in food sector better. Another of such stakeholders meeting took place at the Solo office of NAFDAC recently. In her welcome address at the stakeholders meeting, the Director, Food Safety and Applied Nutrition Directorate, Mrs. Eva Edwards, spoke on the purpose of convening the meeting.
It gives me great pleasure to be here today with such a distinguished gathering of food industry professionals, esteemed members of the Association of Food, Beverage and Tobacco Employers, the AFBTE. I welcome you all to NAFDAC to yet another end-of-year dialogue and feedback session with the Food Safety and Applied Nutrition Directorate. This is our third consecutive end-of-year dialogue and feedback session. So I dare say it has come to stay as a way of continually striving to serve you better. Today we are here to engage in a meaningful dialogue about food safety, share insights, and collaboratively address the challenges we face in ensuring the safety and quality of our food supply. Our gathering is a testament to the critical role the food sector plays in safeguarding public health and sustaining consumer trust. I thank you for making out time to be here for this important engagement, which provides us a platform to discuss salient concerns and share information on new developments in NAFDAC regulatory processes for food manufacturing facilities in Nigeria.
Speaking further, the FSAN director explained the importance of food safety and the role of the stakeholders in the society and the desire of NAFDAC for the food sector.
Food safety is a shared responsibility. This is our slogan as Food Safety Community and Ecosystem. And we have a moral obligation to protect the health of our communities. The impact of unsafe food can be far-reaching, affecting not only public health, but also economies and trade. The food sector has a critical role to play in implementing robust food safety standards adopting innovative solutions, and fostering a food safety culture. As regulators, our job is to provide appropriate guidance, leading to voluntary compliance, working with you, alongside you, to address challenges in meeting regulatory requirements. This is essentially the reason for our gathering today, to have frank discussions. How can we serve you better? What went well in 2024? What did not go well in 2024? In which areas would we like to see improvement on both sides, our side as regulators and your side as the industry? Where are the gaps? Where are the pain points? And what opportunities do we see? And how can we leverage those opportunities? These evaluations and reflections are important for strengthening our food safety system. Your feedback is invaluable in shaping our regulatory policies here at NAFDAC, particularly in the Food Safety and Applied Nutrition Directorate, in meeting our mandates to serve you. So I encourage you to share your perspectives frankly. This is a safe space to have those frank discussions. Our desire is to create a food safety ecosystem that is proactive, that is transparent and resilient. We are focusing on initiatives like risk categorization of food establishments, local food establishments, while discussions on digital food traceability have commenced with the service provider. These are geared towards improving the food safety system. The Food Safety and Applied Nutrition Directorate holds very dear our collaboration with the Association of Food, Beverage and Tobacco Employers. We hold you in very high esteem.
On his own part, the chairman, Technical Committee of the Association of Food, Beverages and Tobacco Employees, Mr. Fred Chiazo, acknowledged the improvements that has occurred in the food sector and the new things to look forward to in 2025.
Now we're becoming more strategic in our thinking. It's no more like being operational, tackling things as they happen. We want to also, aside from talking about issues that you may have gone through, we also want to employ you to bring in suggestions for the future. 2025 is going to be a very, very busy year for us. We're going to have in the food industry, food and beverage, issues to do with sugar tax. That's a big issue for all of us using sugar in our products. Don't just say, oh, it's beverage, you don't care. It's going to trickle down. Government is looking for money. So my point is, that is going to be a big issue we should be preparing for. The current one expires in 2025 March, I'm told, if I remember. And so from then on, we need to brace up. We don't know what will happen. Then we all know about the EPR thing. It has to do with plastic and waste and what have you. That is going to be big in 2025. And many, many more. State governments now are looking for money. So they're going to be looking for issues. And that is why this particular meeting for me is good, so that if we can remove one, I don't want to use the word headache, but remove one, manage one issue better for us, then we begin to see how we can tackle the rest. And that is why I really, really, from the bottom of my heart, want to thank EFSAN for this.
Mr. Chiazo concluded by urging the members of AFBTE to be open and to come up with suggestions and propositions that will enhance food safety and help develop the food sector. The question and answer, dialogue and deliberation sessions then followed in succession.
NAFDAC registration, like I was saying, has three parts. The first part is documentation. We need to ensure that you are a legal entity to do business in Nigeria. That's first. And then we look at your documents. Then there is facility inspection, and that is where EFSAN comes in. If inspection is satisfactory, we draw samples and we send to the laboratory services for analysis. And when they finish their process and it is satisfactory, we tie up the process and we begin the stepwise process of product approval, which, as you know, we have 3 levels. We start with the directorate level, move into the what we say sub-FDRC, you all know what that means, Sub-Food and Drug Registration Committee, then we come to the final.
This is where we'll draw the curtains on this episode of the program. If you have comments, complaints, or you want to report cases of unwholesome food products, fake drugs, or rather illegal activities carried out on any NAFDAC regulated product, our doors are always open.
You can reach NAFDAC via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700 162 3322. For complaints, call 0800 162 3322. You may also email nafdac@nafdac.gov.ng. If you have complaints about any form of misconduct, you can reach the Reforms Unit via email reforms@nafdac.gov.ng or call the Reforms hotlines on 0909 763 0506 or 0909 763 0507. NAFDAC, customer focused, agency minded.
Don't forget, importing, producing, distributing, and selling unwholesome food products, fake drugs, or rather NAFDAC regulated products that are short of being genuine are all criminal acts. They endanger the lives of all. Be part of the efforts to put an end to these criminal acts by reporting any suspicious activity in your area. Till we meet again next week, stay safe.